K-pop rappers. That's an interesting topic to discuss and I'm here to rant. So hear me roar, motherfuckers. Disclaimer. If you are a K-pop fan and you know your fav is ass, and that I will probably be talking about them when I'm bringing up some idols indirectly, you might want to click away. If you know that me, an African American, will shit on them, and not approve of them partaking in my culture and heritage, you should click off. If you have ever said the idiotic statement of K-pop made me like rap, or I didn't like rap until I listened to insert favorite idol rapper / K-hip-hop rapper, or K-pop in general, click off, and you are a raging racist. Sorry about ya. And if you think that your idol can actually stand a full chance against a fully black African American rapper or black American rapper or Western rapper that's black in general, go kick fucking rocks and click off. Are they gone? Good. Now listen to me when I say, most of these rappers aren't even rappers, and I really hate that they're called rappers when lacking the most basic requirement of being a rapper. And that is writing your own lyrics. Rap is an acronym. It stands for rhythm and poetry and is very near and dear in my heart, stemming from enslaved African Americans telling folk tales from their respected countries they were stolen from. Those folk tales, or stories, had a certain way they were supposed to be told, and that way required a mouthy rhythm, so to say. These poems or folk tales later on morphed through the generation to my ancestors making up stories as they went along to pass time, and then it evolving into the music genre we know as rap. Rap is rhythm and poetry, and without the poetry, you're honestly just talking over a beat. One thing about poetry and rap is that it has to come from you and your experiences. Rap is used to communicate hardships and to also rejoice in the good times. And that all comes from you and your pen work. So the sheer fact that motherfuckers think that K-pop rappers are rappers is absurd. Because I kid you not, those mofos don't even know the basic knowledge of what rap stands for or cannot name any rapper that inspires them. They were just chosen to be rappers because they were A. ass at singing, B. pretty, C. just really good dancers that the company couldn't pass up, or D. all of the above. But I can't forget the exceptions, the actual idol rappers who do like rap and actually want to perfect their craft. Now, I was obviously not talking about them in my whole spiel, but I'm not going to praise them either. It's the bare fucking minimum to treat a place where you are a guest with common courtesy, and a lot of you stans need to understand that. Also, just because that idol wanted to be a rapper when a trainee and listened to Western rappers, doesn't make them good. There are very few idol rappers that I will genuinely give a head nod in their direction, and you can guess in the comment section who those are. I'll like the comment. But those rappers are a dime a dozen, and you can tell they actually know what they're doing when they perform at places like Mama, stealing the whole fucking show. Those are the ones I give a head nod towards. But I'll give a couple examples to get you guys started. Now, I don't like Neverlands, but So Yeon is one of them. She is good. Next is BTS's rap line in its entirety. And the last person I'll mention and leave you guys to guess who else is Mark Lee. Anyways, I also hate how in K-hip-hop stans think they're real rappers or they're good, just because they aren't K-pop idols. A lot of them aren't good either, and it's laughable. I tried getting into K-hip-hop and only found cultural appropriators and bad vibes. Why were so many of them fighting the fucking beat and losing? And it wasn't even in a stylistic way either. You could tell that they didn't want that to happen. Where are the real MCs? They call themselves K-hip-hop but have no MCs or OGs. It was ass, and I found a few good K-hip-hop rappers who are actually at least a little okay in my opinion, or decent, but it wasn't enough to make it stick for me. It just felt like a bunch of wannabe black people. And that's another gripe I have with hip-hop in Korea, the cosplaying of blackness, which is racist / anti-black. You don't need to cosplay what you think blackness is. Just dress like yourself and fucking rap. That's all you need to do. There is no aesthetic. And this is how I know they don't really care about the genre, because if they did, they would know there isn't one way to be a rapper. There are rappers who make party music, there are rappers who talk about their struggles in general. There are rappers who talk about their successes, there are rappers who heavily care about their lyricism, and there are those who don't and just want a vibe. There are rappers who wear grills and dreads, there are rappers who wear tighter clothing and lace frontals. There are rappers who wear braids of any sort, there are rappers who rock it natural and still have drip, and there are rappers who look like the average Joe and don't care about shiny things. We are not a monolith, as black people, and neither are our art forms. It's just disrespectful to even subjugate us to what your anti-black rhetoric entails. Out here claiming Korean pride but wearing black hairstyles and other culturally African American attire. Korean wear. Cause the only thing Korean is your face and maybe the lyrics, but not entirely, because there's some English in almost all K-pop songs and in a lot of K-hip-hop songs. It's pitiful, and it all boils down to them not thinking their culture is profitable enough. 'Cause it's all about money. Don't you think if hanbos were as popular as African American attire is today, they wouldn't even dare wear something as cornrows or any black hairstyles that are used across the diaspora? They would be wearing those hanbos left and right, not box braids and dreadful ass attempts to getting locks. It's just profitability, and I wish stans would stop bringing their name into the media whenever they do CA. At this point it is purely on purpose to get recognition in Western countries like America. They want enough outrage so their name gets out there. 'Cause if we just didn't check for them and ignored them, they would be back to wearing their hairstyles in no time flat. Stop giving attention to people who don't care. You're wasting your breath. But then again, I know it's hard to see us getting disrespected and our feelings invalidated. So I do understand, but retracting support is the only way to go. Retract support and move in silence. No uproar, but make their pockets hurt. That's the only way there is a win. Because maybe we can't hurt their Korean career, but we sure can make sure they don't get shit from America. What a lot of companies don't understand just yet is that doing this is actively hurting their chances in getting a strong international audience. Yes, their name is getting out there, but through hate. What if the American media, especially the black American media, uncovers them constantly culturally appropriating, or just being plain racist, without a care in the world, are showing growth? A frenzy will occur and they will be casted out, especially if they are trying to top black-dominated charts. A big problem is that it seems like a lot of idol/K-hip-hop rappers think they're white, or at least the companies do. They don't live in a diverse area, so they don't have to deal with discrimination that's race-based, so they think they're white in some way. Because in their home country, they can just write off other races the way white people do in white-dominated societies. And they somehow forget that the rest of the world doesn't work in their favor. They're still Asian. With the recent rise in hate crimes, things aren't looking too good, and it's upsetting that I see a lot of K-pop groups getting this rude awakening while they're trying to break into the American market or get international fans while having this past that they haven't bettered themselves from. They seem to be confused. Like, wait, y'all actually care? And it's crazy watching this happen in real time. Other than BTS, K-pop groups aren't making any noise on the charts or in America in general, despite multiple US debuts taking place in the past years. And it sucks because some groups have learned from their mistakes but are somehow getting caught up in not only in racism but the shit other groups have labeled K-pop as problematic. It's honestly crazy how far my train of thought has gone from the beginning of the video, but that needed to be said. I'm looking out for everyone, and the whole racism thing can apply to any non-Korean person who is affected by the K-pop industry disrespecting them. Anyways, I guess I'll have to wrap this up and end with some parting words. Most of your faves cannot rap. Most of them have no flow, and equate talking over a beat to spitting bars. Most of them have this forced drip to them. Talking in a black accent is one of those examples. It's honestly all the same most of the time, and most songs can go without raps because the rappers in general are not good, so they just end up bringing down a good song or an already bad song. A lot of K-hip-hop rappers are ass too, except a few. And some of them who aren't that bad are either mediocre or their anti-black sentiments have tarnished their validity. There, I said what needed to be said. Now, if you have some opinions, comment them down below. But don't think I won't hesitate to delete that shit if you're disrespectful, if you do come across my video. Anyways, have a nice day. I'm getting too heated. Goodbye.